Hey y'all, it's Facade Studios, and we're going to be going through how to build a video game soundtrack. A good place that I like to start is finding a dedicated key signature. With a key signature, you then have a framework to work within, very similar to how an artist uses a color palette. If you're not sure what key signature to start with, find a soundtrack that you really like that fits the theme that you're going for, and look up its key signature. Most, if not all, digital audio workstations, such as GarageBand, Logic, or Cakewalk, allow the user to select a key signature somewhere within the system. Once you have a key signature, you then know what notes will evoke that required cadence. If you have a lot of music in your game, having a couple of key signatures to work within is recommended. It's important to test that these songs will transition well with one another, similar to how particular notes work well within the same key signature. Certain key signatures transition well in between one another. For our example project, we are going to be working in the key signature of C. After I find my key signature, I create a leitmotif. This is a recurring melody that directly connects to the narrative of the story, like how Hedwig's theme is played throughout Harry Potter to evoke the cadence of nostalgia and curiosity, or how Imperial March is played in Star Wars to evoke this cadence of a dooming military march. In our example project, we are going to be working on a playful journey leitmotif. We have a simple leitmotif that I have just started, all within the confines of C, and that utilizes note C, E, G, I, C, and for tension, E flat. Very simple, 4 notes. And what I want to accomplish with this leitmotif is I want a movement that I can factor into the background of other songs if I need to. In every individual song, I will make a motif. This is a recurring melody throughout a piece of music that evokes the primary cadence of the song. If I want an adventuring theme, I will often create a song in the major key and create a motif with movement and resolution. Movement means selecting a series of notes that move a melody up and down or down and up throughout your key signature. This can give the concept of a journey. A resolution is a note or a chord that finishes a movement within the confines of your key signature. For example, if I'm in major C, I can often resolve a movement with C, G, or E, either alone or as a chord. These notes can be paired together to create major chords and can be layered together to give more depth. If I'm in minor D, I will often resolve a movement in D flat, F sharp, or B. Before any resolution, it is important to create tension. Tension is caused by selecting notes within the key signature that are not directly tied to the primary, major, or minor chords. In major C, these notes can be D, F, A, and these will often come right before a resolution. A resolution entirely depends on the emotion you want to evoke, and in some cases, you may not want to evoke your resolution right away. For example, in dubstep, a resolution is often withheld until the drop. When a resolution is withheld, it creates more tension. For example, in Jaws, the leitmotif evokes immense tension and is only resolved once the shark finally jumps out of the water. This is why people like clubs go crazy for build-ups, or why sometimes you can't turn a song off until a certain point, even when you're driving and you've already reached your destinations. Our minds crave this resolution in music. So it normally sits right here on our G, and this is our C. But these notes are too similar, and within the same range right after this is played, So we're just going to bring it down into another note here that fits within our sort of main scale from our beginning. We have this sort of chord right here that factors in all of like the major notes that we are utilizing. These are all resolution notes, notes that make you feel real good after attention. So anything that effectively does not fit within the major chords that you are working with create a sense of tension. And people want that tension released, and the only way to do it is to give them the notes within the key signature that you are working within, the major, minor chords that you are sort of factoring into your song. The style of music does not matter. Dubstep and movie soundtracks are simply the most obvious genres that utilize tension and resolution to their advantage. A boss battle in a video game needs tension to evoke the stakes of the fight. This is why many boss fights are in a minor key signature and have a lot of tension. What happens to the world if you lose the battle? With enough tension that you can tell the player how important a fight is without any words. Also here, you can change where it snaps to. Right now it snaps to the 16ths, which is good for what we want. If you don't want it to snap, sometimes you can sort of place them where you want to make it just a little bit, to try to make it feel a little more organic, if that's sort of what you're going for. We actually want a little bit more depth to it, so we're actually going to give it higher. So we sort of have some sort of like a head bobby sort of thing to work with within our track, and then we have a little bit of sort of this baseline tension that we are able to resolve with these chord-like structures, which again utilize our basic chord of C, E, and G on various octaves. Once I have a motif for a song, I will create 2 verses that feature movement utilizing the notes within the key signature. In some cases, both verses can be the same movement, but in the second one, I will layer the movement with a second movement that builds and complements the first. I often resolve these verses using the motif that I created. I often will create a bridge after the second verse, utilizing tension to build up the final motif. Then boom, you have a song. And once you understand the building blocks of how to create a song, you can translate the format to any kind of theme that you require. In my current project, Rage at Rage, I have a 22-song instrumental album that features 3 various key signatures that work well together. I have forest themes, desert themes, sewer themes, city themes, town themes, and many more, plus boss themes for each area that utilize the theme motif as a callback to each respective area. I follow these same steps to create every song, even though they all evoke a different feeling and give the sense that you are somewhere entirely new. Thanks for watching, and go ahead and drop a comment below and let me know what game you're currently working on, game themes you've got going on, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button for more amazing content. God, I love content. Anyways, later.